if I can. Okay, you're live streaming this, so let me try and get this done as quickly as possible. Start video and find I would appreciate if you could kindly
yes, mute.
ground.
I was just going to come in. Yes, please. Some ground rules I was supposed to have actually laid out before we go into the program proper. We'll appreciate everybody putting their phones on mute, please. Otherwise, I'll tell the host to mute everybody until such a time when we need people to ask questions. Otherwise, it will be disturbing. I think some people are still not listening. They've got their phones on. They've connected, but their phones are not. Ibrahim, please, can you mute everybody? Ibrahim, can you please mute everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
They are all
Can
muted
you
now,
please?
ma'am.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Anybody you're letting, can you please put them on mute?
Yes, whoever is entering, it will be automatically muted.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Haja. Sorry for that. I hope we will not get as many distractions. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma.
Okay, I've opened my file folder and it's not showing me my webinar. I don't know, the webinar I prepared is not coming up. I don't know, maybe it's still uploading to cloud. It seems to be locked off from this screen. So let me just start off with a brief introduction that we don't waste time while I try to find it via multitasking. It's interesting when a lot of the times we talk about AI, and the reality is most people practically do not understand what that means. They believe AI is some kind of a robot that they put out there, and if you can't afford to buy a robot, it means that you are not going to be able to use AI. And that in reality is not really the fact of the matter. The truth of the matter is that AI, like every other technological advancement, is just a software which you can manipulate. That's the layman's way of explaining it. It's just a software that you can manipulate to get value for what the tasks that you perform or the work that you do. Having said that, it's also imperative for people to understand that in today's reality, AI is rapidly transforming what we do in workspaces, what we do as routine functions and tasks. What it has done is to automate such routine tasks, enhance decision-making, and foster human AI collaboration with significant impacts on labor productivity and employment structures. There have been key trends that we've noticed, and they include the augmentation of human skills, the rise of intelligent collaboration, and the need for urgent workspace reskilling. Now, all of this simply tells us that going forward and the future of work is not just going to be what we're already used to. There are going to be significant disruptions to the way that we function, the way that we work. I'm trying to see a situation where I can still share this while I'm talking. So if you see me, if you hear me maybe closing off, it's not because I'm not concentrating, because I'm trying to still see if I can share this. The alternative would be, let me do the topic, and then subsequently everybody can get a copy of of the presentation. I'll also try to log in now with my Zoom on phone and see the possibility of sharing this information with everybody. So essentially, what AI tells us is that there are several layers of AI infusion in today's reality. Major challenges that we've noticed include job displacements, increased income inequality, and the necessity for robust ethical frameworks. And that essentially means every single sector and every single facet of society is involved in the utilization and the exploitation of AI for productivity. The purpose is to elaborate on how the managerial and organizational structure in organizations may transform to combine the benefits of technological advancements with a human-centric approach. So what this presentation therefore provides is combined details of separate comprehensive studies that have been conducted, one by ResearchGate and the other by Futures Platform, comprising structured interviews of a diverse group of experts, including scholars, practitioners, and thought leaders with profound knowledge and experiences, a workshop that has aimed to identify emerging trends, which provided a collaborative platform for idea exchange and trend analysis, and a review of relevant literature encompassing both books, peer-reviewed articles, as well as insights from pertinent podcasts that have assessed AI in workspaces. Now, let's talk about that. Just gives us a broad overview of what AI is and what it has done, and efforts that have been made to understand how it is impacting society. Now let's look at the rise of AI in modern workspaces. Without a doubt, the way we manage organizations today is based on a thinking and structure that was optimized in an industrial era without access to the digital infrastructure that is available today. The latest breakthroughs within AI enable instant access to new tools and solutions. Organizations have been struggling to understand both potentials and risks with AI. There are very few players that control the development of AI, as is already known. And since the development of AI, we've noticed that it requires immense resources in terms of capital and specialized competencies, most of which many organizations and states and countries are still struggling to bring to bear, the specialized competencies, that is. At the same time, AI tools are intuitive and easy to use, which means that any company could accelerate both efficiencies and innovation through AI. And what is AI actually? It is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence means you've created an algorithm that is able to perform certain functions or certain tasks, and you've given it some key parameters from human functions, what human beings do, to add value to the intelligence that algorithm will be able to help you to execute. That's generally what AI means. Now, there are very few players that control this development. And the reality of it is, because AI tools are easy to use and they're intuitive, a lot of companies could accelerate both the efficiencies that they derive from it and the innovations that AI is able to bear. So AI could be instrumental to distributing power and resources. What does that mean? For instance, by revealing new structures in the labor market, matching demand and supply by efficiently finding the right skill for each assignment. So it's not, we just employed Hajia Amina, for example, and we've just thrown her into the pool of skill sets to say, go and produce a strategic plan for new intakes of Sir Ahmadu Bello Foundation. Hajia Amina may not have the requisite skill set at that time to be able to execute that task. What AI does is to enable, is to collaborate with Hajia Amina, her intuitiveness, her creativity, her what she values as a human being in terms of the quality and the quantity of officers that Ahmadu Bello Foundation need to employ and the kind of skill sets that they need to have. She'll bring in all of that human-centric approach, and AI will facilitate a structured pattern that will enable her to achieve the task that she's set out to achieve. Now, let's look at the future of labor. The future of labor could create a labor market where everyone's skill set is significantly more visible because of the value of AI. And the insights into what competence companies need are precise and predictable, as I explained earlier. Now, strategies are digitalized and broken down into activities that are matched with skills, replacing hierarchies, which is what we are already used to in the service structures that we've worked with since the Industrial Revolution. So what this means is we'll now turn them into fluid organizations with decentralized and democratized structures. Mastering the art of efficiency matching tasks with skills may be one of the most important capabilities in the future of companies. Now, AI also signifies signifies a colossal, demanding urgent and profound attention from management, boards, and owners. And this is a very, very important point, because for a lot of organizations, whether they're at federal ministry level, at a parastatal level, whether they're at company level or at small business level, the reality of it is most management boards and owners of companies have very limited understanding of the kinds of skills, the day-to-day routine tasks that their officers would be required to perform. Those tasks are broken down from the level. I don't know, is everybody hearing me?
Yes, please.
Okay, very good, thank you. So those tasks are created and performed by mid-level managers and by the ground level officers. And therefore, what happens most times is you find a management that just sees something on television or sees an advert on a social media platform and wants it replicated in their respective agencies and in their respective companies without an understanding of the realities on ground in their respective establishments. Excuse me. So what that therefore means is there has been a colossal shift between what we were doing before and what we're going to be doing today and into the future. That shift is demanding urgent and profound attention from such managements, boards, and owners. It is not just about streamlining processes, as I've explained. Innovation through AI is critical to fully grasp the impacts that you will get from the utilization of such software and such devices and such technologies, safeguard the business model that you created in the initial instance, and enhance the services that you deliver to your clients. The key takeaways from, just to summarize what we've said so far, the key takeaways from most of the research that have been done on the AI and the future of work have been: one, impact on jobs. AI is shifting roles from routine, repetitive tasks towards higher value, cognitive, intensive, and customer-facing work. Human AI collaboration has emerged. The future focuses on intelligence augmentation, where AI complements human skills, e.g. in complex decision-making, rather than merely replacing human labor. Skill requirements: there is a critical need for continuous learning, upskilling, and adapting to new AI-driven processes. We've also seen economic inequality emerge. While AI can boost productivity, it risks exacerbating labor income inequality if not managed, and potentially increasing returns for capital over labor. We've also seen sectoral exposure. Women and college educated workers in advanced economies face higher exposure to AI, while older workers may find adaptation a lot more challenging. We've also seen policy and regulation deficits. Experts have recommended implementing robust regulatory frameworks, strengthening social protection, and developing digital infrastructure to handle all the transitions that will happen per establishment, per business, per company, and per federal government policy. So you have included a lot of documents, PDFs that you can still reference and go to from the webinars that we attended, where these discoveries were outlined. Also, recommendations have also been made to fast track the future of work, and those recommendations have included prioritizing reskilling, investing in education to adopt and adapt to AI-enabled environments is crucial. Recommendation also included adopting ethical frameworks that organizations must align AI initiatives with ethical standards, protecting privacy and workers' rights. The third recommendation has been to foster adaptability by embracing a culture of continuous learning to keep pace with technological changes. As we all know, we're just at the beginning of AI disruptions in the workspace. The future of AI is unknown to anybody. What it will transform into is still unknown. Research is still ongoing. Innovations are still out there. So we know that for a fact, there will be advances beyond what we know today as artificial intelligence. In fact, as a matter of fact, we have already got to the stage of artificial general intelligence, which is an advancement from the AI that we started with. So if somebody is still
So sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Can I just sort of come in here? We still have somebody, one Bara Urabu. Please, can you mute your mic because you are interfering with our presentation, please. So sorry for this interruption. Hello, Haja, can you hear me? Hello? Ibrahim, I hope you have not muted our mentor. Hello? Hello, Ibrahim? Hello? Our mentor is off.
Let her unmute. I asked her to unmute her video. Her video is locked. Her audio is locked. Let her unmute it from her angle there. I can't do it from here.
Okay.
She has to unmute from there and ask her to open her video also, because she's only the voice is what we are hearing. We can't see the video.
Yeah, she said she had a challenge, but I can't even hear her anymore. I cannot even hear her anymore.
I have opened it for her so she can share the whiteboard now.
I think everybody can hear me now, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Excuse me,
thank
ma'am.
you. You're back. Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Please, you can share your whiteboard now. And you can please kindly open your video, please. Your video is muted.
Okay. You can see me now, correct?
Yes, ma'am, we can see you now.
Oh, great.
You can share your whiteboard now. You can also share your whiteboard now.
Okay, let me try
Yes,
to do that. right now.
Yes.
Because I tried to link it before, it didn't connect. So let me see if I can access it from here. Meeting settings. Okay. Let me try and drag this one. It's still not linking. It's still not linking.
Okay, ma'am, it's okay. I think you can continue. You can continue, no problem.
Okay. So, I apologize for this. I don't know why Apple has this problem. They keep making it almost impossible to link external devices. So I was going to link it from my phone. I now sent it to my iPad. It's still not picking it. It's still rolling. It's not picking it. It could be a network. It could also be any other reason. That said, I think we can continue so that we stick to the allotted time. We have four scenarios on the future of work. I don't know if you have I think I sent a copy of my presentation. If you have that and you can upload from your end, you can go ahead and do so. That is not linking from my own end. I've tried both ways. It's still not linking. So I created from the study that we undertook. We had 4 scenarios on the future of AI in the workspace. Those scenarios were practical, everyday existence and the impact that AI was going to have. I've listed all the 4 and the respective output from each of them for the participants to be able to review thereafter. But what it essentially is that AI will continue to shape the workspace over the next 5, 10, or even 20 years, maybe for even longer. Will it improve employee productivity and work-life balance, or deepen socioeconomic divides and disrupt livelihoods? A lot of experienced AI enthusiasts and AI manufacturers have covered that this is the reality already. So how can we advance from that? To expose these possibilities, Futures Platform followed 2 workers, Sam, a nurse, and Anna, a construction area manager, as they navigated 4 potential futures shaped by AI's integration into the workspace. While these are not exhaustive in the list of all the kinds of possibilities that will happen as a result of AI adaptation, the 4 scenarios analyze pivotal trajectories that could shape the future of human-AI collaboration in the workspace, providing us with a strategic lens for organizations to explore the diverse ways the future might unfold with the utilization of AI or the infusion of AI. In the several scenarios, Futures Platform focused on the following set of driving forces that will influence the future development of this topic: investments in workforce training, regulatory frameworks for AI, advancements in AI and automation, and then the labor shortages that will be experienced. Now, for each of those scenarios, I've done a little, we put together a little human AI scenario that we try to put it in a graphical manner such that it explains what would likely happen. What are the 4 major areas? These 4 major areas that I listed, what are the 4 major impacts that AI's infusion will have on them? To save time, I'm not going to break down each one of them, but it just tells us one scenario looks at humans and AI working together in a great synergy. And then we developed a path was projected for each of the scenarios, looking at the year 2026 as this year, 2028, 2030, and 2032. You have all of that in the slides when you eventually get it. In fact, in PDF form when you eventually, so you can reference these things. We have scenario 2, which looks at rushed AI adoption and how it creates work. And of course, again, the development path for that scenario was also break down per those number of years. What would actually happen in those number of years? Then scenario 3 gave us a wide-scale automation which displaces workers as AI development outpaces regulation. That one also has the development path for that scenario, which explains what will happen by this year, by 2030, 2032, and 2025. That has a longer trajectory of projection because we're talking about AI taking over, the wide-scale automation taking over the labor space. Then you have the 4th scenario, which looks at AI falling short of expectations and remaining limited to narrow applications. And that also gives us a development path that we can assume what would happen by 2026, 2028, 2030, and 2032. These are all practical, experienced scenarios that from which development pathways were deduced and projected. So there's a reference to that study so that you can also access that. Now, unless somebody has a question, maybe I should take a break now and have, if anybody has a question regarding what I've said thus far before we continue this conversation. Any questions?
Let me give an opportunity to a member of our board of trustees who has joined us and to say, Mr. Timothy, I don't know if you want to come in here, if you have any questions, or can we continue till we get to the end of the presentation? Mr. Timothy, sir, do you have any questions so far? You can unmute yourself, sir. I can see you're still with us. If you have any questions, sir, you can unmute and ask your question, sir. Or otherwise, we assume you'd want to wait until we finish the presentation. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I just want to say a very big thank you that I appreciate the presentation as a novice in the field. So it's a learning process. I'm keen listening. I will not want to ask any question now, but I'm taking my notes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay,
yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Haja. So
I think
we can continue. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Very
yes,
well.
thank you. Thank you.
Let's look at the interplay between AI and human society. The reality of it is the interplay between AI and human society will shape our future and potentially change the foundations of how the world is operating, the entire world. Now, AI could either concentrate power in the hands of a few or decentralize and distribute resources more evenly. It depends on how we apply it, how we adapt it, how we strategically plan for its implementation, and how we apply such strategies. The transformative impact of AI on the labor market is as substantial as we see, not just in today's reality, but in the future realities as well. From all the templates of projections that we've seen, the transformations we're going to continue to see because of the influx and the use of AI are going to continue to be substantial. And we'll see a complete paradigm shift in job structures and the skills required for the future of employment. The emphasis on adaptability and lifelong learning underscores the need for individuals to evolve alongside AI particularly as traditional job roles become automated. Remember, many of us, maybe on this platform, were born in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and probably 80s. Very few people were born in the 90s and 2000s. So those people are probably more, they are more broad-minded when it comes to the adoption of AI. Those of us that were born up to the 80s have much less cognitive realization of the values of AI, because it wasn't in our era that it started. Although we are alive to witness it, it didn't start with us. So we're rushing to understand it, to grasp it. And remember, we're already aging. So it means our propensity to understand and to assimilate some of these new nuances or skills will be limited. Unlike those born in the 90s, late 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. In fact, the reality of it is, if you look at your grandkids, for those of you who already have, or your children, you'll discover that your children are more technologically savvy than you yourself. Or your grandkids are even more technologically savvy than your kids have been. And this is the reality, whether anybody likes it or not. So the emphasis, like we said, will be on adaptability and lifelong learning. AI, particularly as traditional AI, as we see it today, requires that traditional job roles become much more automated. That's the only way you get the productivity value that we're talking about. The transition may occur with such a rapid pace that we are unable to create new jobs to align with these transitions, or that rather the task-based new revenue streams for humans will diminish, that a whole generation may be severely affected, particularly those at the end of their work life, which is what we just explained now. That a lot of us who are aging or who are at the end of our work life may not be able to, with the same speed, transition into the AI-enabled workspace. So in broader societal context, we may see a re-evaluation of human roles and identities in the light of technological advancements. AI's integration into everyday life could lead to more profound changes that mere job displacement, challenging our very notions of work and personal fulfillment. A lot of the times you find people go into workspaces because of vacancies, not necessarily because it is the area of interest to fulfill their life's ambitions. So with AI's capacity to enhance human abilities, we envision a cooperative relationship between humans and AI, one that could redefine productivity and creativity in the workspace. Remember, like I said, most people in the work environment today, in every society, possibly got their employment as a result of vacancies announced or in newspapers or on social media or on electronic media. But the reality of it is, with AI, you can actually redefine what interests you, what makes you happy, and create your work or accept a work as a result of what makes you happy, not necessarily because there is a vacancy. So you upskill yourself in that area that makes you happy and enable yourself with AI to fit into any workspace that provides that opportunity. So, sorry, I have a bit of catarrh. It's been very dusty here in this environment, so my asthma is trying to kick off. Anyways, what AI has done is to blur the lines, which creates new ecosystems and dissolves old structures. And there is an urgent need for new systemic thinking. Such thinking should start with fundamental questions about human existence and the values we aspire to uphold. For those of you who are science or social science graduates, you understand what I'm talking about. The values that we have entrenched in society today are built around political structures, capitalism, socialism, and all that. whereas the real value of human existence resides within the human mind, the human soul. So if we don't externalize that value enough to appreciate humanity, then we've lost the battle already to displace AI or to make AI work for us rather than we working for AI. Our current beliefs that competition is a natural and necessary part of our society should be challenged and exchanged towards an approach where collaboration is the key enabler for societal advancement. What exactly I just said a few seconds ago. So AI could radically alter communication, reducing the resilience or reliance on screens and enabling more natural and efficient interactions through the use of augmented and virtual realities. Now, there are risks to that as well. We'll come to that later in the presentation. But the shift hints at a future where technology is seamlessly integrated. Like I said, you need to find what makes you happy, what makes you human. Understand that, then externalize it to gain that value above the algorithms that are being produced to function with us. So what that means essentially is that AI could radically alter our communication patterns. What we've done all these years will considerably change, and it is already changing. Once upon a time, if you want to communicate with a relative in, say, for example, Adamawa, and you're based in, for example, Sokoto, you'd have to write a letter. Oh, first, it was telex. You have to send a telex. Go to the post office, give them your message. It is telexed, typed and telexed to the next telex system, which relays it to the next one and the next one and the next one until it gets Yola in Adamawa State. And then that telex is received, and a copy of the short words are now printed out for you and given to you as your message. Then after that, we came to the point where we could write our letters, take them to the post office, drop them in a post box, and then somebody picks them up, travels to the states where the addresses of those postal boxes are, and drops them in the exact post box that each letter is meant for. Then we go there, pick them up, and then we're able to read communication from our relatives. Thereafter, we came to the point of typewriters, the manual typewriters, where many of us who were in the media industry or were in any kind of functional agency in the early 90s or the late 80s know about the you're typing and then pop, and then you go back again and start with your ribbons and everything. Then we rolled from that into the electronic typewriters with the IBM, and thereafter rolled again into what we call the Solomon Grundig computer boxes, which had like the old TV boxes that we used to have, this giant box at the back of the box, which we used to use as the then computer systems. And before long, advances improved the quality of that device to a much more portable computer screen top desktop. And then thereafter, we now have just screens that you don't need a keyboard to be able to work with your screen. Your screen already has a keyboard that you're going to work with. Today, most of us use our handhelds as our computers. That's the reality. Those are the advances that will continue to happen. So as AI evolves, it may lead to the creation of AGI, which is what I said earlier, artificial general intelligence. It is already starting, which surpasses human cognitive capabilities and necessitates new forms of collaboration and ethical frameworks. Sorry, if you're not able to see me, sorry, I'm trying to sit upright, but it's not easy. Old age is not easy. So, as these new forms of collaboration and ethical frameworks will also lead us to look at AI as something that we need to better understand, to better express our emotional states. We need to, first of all, understand ourselves and then move from understanding ourselves to understanding the AI that we're going to use, the algorithm that we're going to infuse into a software and then create an artificial intelligence that will work for us. And most of the time, as of today, we just go and procure already existing open AI softwares. There are risks to that, and we get to the point when we'll talk about it when we get to the point of the risks involved. So it is also necessary, with a critical examination of the trajectory of AI development, that we advocate a human-centric and societal approach, ensuring that technology serves the greater good and promotes a more equitable and sustainable future. As AI becomes an integral part of our world, it is imperative to steer its influence towards enhancing human capabilities and improving societal structure, rather than allowing it to become a tool for centralizing power or exacerbating inequalities. AI, in combination with other technological and scientific advancements, is poised to restructure the very fabric of work, organizational hierarchies, business models, and societal systems. The way we build and organize both society and companies may be revolutionized by AI, and we're likely to move from hierarchies towards more fluid, decentralized networks. Competencies within the workforce will transition from traditional role-based structures to task and skill-centric frameworks, which is what I said at the introduction of this webinar, that whether we like it or not, skills will be at the altar of everything that is to be acceptable in a workspace in the future. In fact, from now. So the kinds of educational, what is it they call it? Those of you who read education, modules, the kinds of educational modules that we've provided to undergrads, to students from primary to secondary to university, all of that is going to have to change, because those are not the things that the future of work is looking for. For example, yes, you may have somebody with who graduates with history, but that history is not just going to be history per se as we know it. It's going to be history infused and laced with ICT understanding and ICT capabilities. These are the realities that we're talking about. Medical doctors are not going to be just people who undergo training in general medicine, in brain surgery, or what you call neurosurgery, or cardiology, or even pathology. They're going to be people who are trained, who understand how to utilize AI to achieve medical advances beyond what we already know. So these are the realities that, whether we like or not, would have to bring into how we train our undergrads and the future of our workforce. It brings into focus the possibility of AI bridging the gap between strategy and execution by dynamically matching competencies with organizational needs, thereby fostering agility and responsiveness in the face of rapidly changing market demands. Remember, the people that we train, the universities of today are training people for a particular work market. And that work market is changing. The demands for the kind of skill sets that you need to fit into that work market has also changed. These are the realities that we would have to consider in training, in providing the curriculum. That was the word I was looking for the future of work in the educational sector. So what this means, therefore, is that organizations that continue to operate mainly within hierarchical models will become vulnerable and furthermore obsolete in a knowledge-driven economy. This is attributed to the decreasing costs of communication and the subsequent empowerment of individuals closest to the problems, allowing them to make their own decisions. If you look at, excuse me, sorry.
Sorry, please drink some water. Sorry, please drink some water. You've been talking for this long.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I apologize. So if
Thank
you
you.
look at most workspaces today, everybody is looking to employ an IT expert. You know, somebody who has understanding and knowledge of ICT, or is a graduate of ICT, or is this. And the reality of it is that majority of those ICT graduates of today are merely network operators. They are just network analysts. They analyze network connections. They are able to link systems. They are able to provide troubleshooting and all that. But that's about all that they do. Now, the kind of ICT that works for AI has to have analytical mind, has to have a creativity that is beyond par, has to be able to think faster than most average human beings, has to be. These are all values that each human being can harness within themselves and then go on to advance it by adapting and adopting AI. So all of this means AI signifies a colossal shift, like we said before, demanding urgent and profound attention from management, boards, and owners. Now, I'm happy that this is one of the findings from this study, because it means that for a lot of us, those of you who are in management in even Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation, you need to understand the deficits that already exist as a result of the slow pace of adoption of technologies. It's not just AI. There are several numerous other technologies that you can adopt. It's not enough to be on social media and be trending and be clickbaiting and all that. It's not enough to even be able to produce an audiovisual clip in less than 5 seconds with other people's innovated software designs. No, it's not even enough to be able to create a storyline that you know you didn't generate, but that is so believable that everybody who reads it will think, oh, this is the greatest news that has come out of Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation. Remember, there's also fact-checking, which means it's easy for me to go online and use my own algorithms to check whether what you sent to me actually did happen. Do you understand? So these are the realities that we have to really come on board with. It's not just enough to also just adopt everything. Okay, they say AI is trendy, let's go and acquire AI. You need to have a template. You need to have a strategy. You need to know what you want to achieve with that AI. You need to be able to look at it and say, okay, within this so timeline, you should be able to advance from this level to the next level, to the next level, to the point where you free up your staff to delve more into the creative aspect of the work that you're doing, so that the machines do the everyday routine tasks while your staff are busy creating the opportunities for those machines to keep doing the job. This is a reality that we all must adopt. So by enabling the decentralization of decision-making and promoting fluid networks, AI has the potential to create ecosystems that are more in tune with human needs and aspirations. While AI initially is set to replace certain administrative and repetitive tasks, as we said, it is the uniquely human skills, like I mentioned a few seconds ago, such as certain kinds of creativity, empathy, love, care, those things that are innate to humanity. Those are the things that problem solving in areas that are, for example, your child is hungry. Your baby is hungry. The baby doesn't have the words to tell you, Mommy, I'm hungry. But because of the kind of attention you've paid to that child, you are able to deduce, oh, the child is crying because he's hungry, not because he's wet. The child is crying because he wants the clothes he's wearing, he's uncomfortable in them, not because he's hungry. These are the kinds of innate humanity that would have to bring to bear in remaining relevant in the world of AI. So such kinds of creative thinking, problem solving, without any data. You don't need a data set to be able to decipher which of your children is sad, maybe because somebody hits them in school. You don't need data sets to be able to decipher that. It's innate to you because you are a parent. So those kinds of soft skills are the ones that you would need to sustain the value of humanity in the age of artificial intelligence. These are emotional intelligence that you cannot surpass. No machine can surpass because they're not created with such emotions. They will be increasingly valuable, and we as managers, as owners of companies, excuse me, as board members, would need to infuse more opportunities for our staff to be trained in such emotional intelligence, to advance them in such emotional intelligence, for them to remain relevant in the days when AI becomes your tool of function. So while AI is set to replace, like I said, set to replace certain administrative and repetitive tasks, we need to seriously consider and implement a trajectory for increasing emotional intelligence of our workforce. So though AI is all about replacement of human endeavor, not human emotions or human intelligence, we will initially use it mostly as a collaborator that enhances human capabilities. What you need AI for, and what you should use AI for, is to advance productivity and value, not to replace the humanity that is us, the human beings. So we may see new roles emerging, such as, for example, community gardeners. You understand? These are functions, however perfect a machine is, he will not know how to work with a group of human beings to create to clean out a community garden, for example. That's the job of humans. And you do it with joy and with love because it's for the whole community. This is the humanity that we are talking about. Let's do more for everybody's good rather than for just one person's financial benefit. And you will find such other new jobs like collaboration facilitators, who will bring people together to collaborate to be able to achieve a task or to perform something or to create a function or something, or even to research something. You find these kinds of functions becoming the order of the day. All of these functions will continue to grow. There are numerous others that are already growing. Maybe not as fast in our own climb, in our own region, in Nigeria or Africa, but as fast already in several other countries. As many of you already know, in certain countries, cars are already flying. Motorcycles are already flying. We're still stuck here with Bolt and what's the other one? The other taxi cab service that we use regularly. Anyway, the app is somewhere, you know. A lot of people are there are still stuck on those. That's Bolt and what's that? I had their software at the time. I deleted it.
Uber.
Uber, thank you very much. Uber. You know, it didn't make sense to me for me to spend 5,000 naira from Radio House to Garki Area 3. So I deleted their app and went for Bolt. Even that doesn't make sense. If I now can have a bicycle that I can just infuse AI into, and my bicycle can fly me to wherever destination I want to get to. I think we are nearing that level. So essentially, it is vital to adopt a methodical approach and methodological approach. It has to be methodical, it has to be methodological, because you need to be able to create timelines and strategies for achieving each of the set tasks that you want to achieve. We need to be able to use this approach to incorporate AI into our functions. It's not a big deal. It's what we do every day as researchers. We create a problem, then we assign roles to each and everybody that is in the team of the researchers to find out the problem, the methodology for finding the problem, for resolving the problem. What are the drawbacks? What are the risks? We do the SWOT analysis. We do all kinds of analysis. And then we come up with a recommendation that is to be adopted as policy. It's the same scenario you have to create in the adoption of AI. This means raising awareness of the possible impact and consequences of AI adoption, engaging in comprehensive learning, testing, and acting on insights about AI effects in all industries, not just your own. Because if you adopt a particular set of AI, that is, for example, you want to increase, increase the quantum of newsletters that you produce per month. You already have the machines that produce your newsletters, that you use to produce your newsletters. Maybe you use just your computer, but then you give it a command to produce 1,000 copies. Now you want to increase it, and you want it to be in the same size, in the same, with the same font, with the same but with a new background. You have to use an AI device or AI software to be able to achieve that kind of a turnaround. And when you do that, be sure that you're not using an AI algorithm that is meant for newspaper production, because that is the same output you're going to get. Your newsletter will now look like a newspaper. So each and every one of the tasks that you want to perform, you need to understand what it is and the specific type of algorithm that you're going to create or to procure to utilize for that specific task. And they have to align, otherwise the result will not meet the expectation. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of water again. Okay, so the job market that we know today is evolving rapidly, with many roles becoming obsolete and some new ones emerging. In response, both employers and employees must embrace continuous learning as part of their daily work. Now, this is very critical, because what we've realized, even in the years I was in service, was that a lot of people have risen to a certain level in their career, and they believe they know it all. They've arrived. There's no need for them to learn anything new. Then anybody who's bringing in anything new becomes enemy number one, or the person wants to shake the table. And they have to fight that person and block that person and erase that person and whatnot. The reality of it is, as a manager of resources, whether it's just human resources or human and capital resources, you have a fiduciary responsibility to teach yourself the job so that you can transmit that knowledge to those who look up to you. Most of the time, that is not the reality. The boss sits on the high table and gives blank directives. And then the directives get down and nobody knows what to do with them, because there are no strategies attached to them. There is no objective. There is no streamlined, proper trajectory that takes them from start to finish, that gives them the impetus to now add their own creativity. Nothing like that happens in most organizations and in most companies, except for, of course, the Fortune 500 companies, which have millions of dollars and millions of naira to dole on researchers and planners to prepare their templates for whatever new thing they want to achieve, as we've seen with Apple, the Apple company, with Google, even Google, with most of these high-tech companies. They have billions of dollars to infuse into research and trajectory projections, and to look at the pros and the cons, to look at the possibilities and the weaknesses, the risks and the assets, before they begin to implement a new design. So these are some of the things that we as organizations would need to use AI to achieve, but we need to use it responsibly and sustainably. So there is also a need to address potential biases in performance management and recruitment, as it will become transparent in a completely new way. AI presents an opportunity to align our strategies with skill development, enabling us to organize effectively around tasks, setting value on prioritized tasks rather than roles, which we will effectively steer people and organizations towards what really needs, that the kinds of roles that we really need them to get done. In this transition, we must continually challenge the global, societal, and business system and structure that limit our adaptability. Remember, like I said, in the industrial age, if Oga has not given you directive, who are you to go and say, I no one should say I sabi before Oga come dump all the work on me? So people have that mentality, which is the general systems, the general thing you find in most systems, even in some private sector organizations. You find people not wanting to show their creativity or to explain or to argue or to even critique any kind of policy that is sent from above them, because they don't want to be seen to be over sabi or too low. So as a result of which the company suffers, their creativity reduces, and productivity is not at par with what is expected. So in conclusion, therefore, the intention has been to paint a multifaceted picture of the future of work and society in an AI-enhanced world. Suggestion is for a future where AI enables a more decentralized and human-centric approach to work, catalyzes the development of task-based organizations that align with human skills and motivations, as well as facilitates a more ethical and equitable integration of technology into our daily lives. We will experience a time of both transformation and adaptation, where AI acts as both a mirror and a bridge, reflecting our humanity back at us and connecting us to a future with possibility, a whole new level of democracy entering the business world, where the potential and needs for individuals and collective growth is put at the center of all that we do. So my question to each and every one of you here is this: what do we humans want to spend our time doing? And how can AI do all the rest while we're doing what we want to do? I thank you for your attention. Hajia Amina, you can come.
Hajia, I am just letting out a sigh, and that has been so much to take in, but you have tried to bring it down to the level of, should I say, we commoners, we the less digital generation, we the ones that are afraid of AI. Thank you so much. And at this juncture, I would like to call Mr. Timothy, a member of our board of trustees, because I know he and I are of the same generation. So, Mr. Timothy, sir, over to you for your comments and questions, please.
Hajia Amina, I'm almost a museum piece. I really want to express once more my appreciation to Hajia Sani for the wonderful presentation that appeals to all ages, and for stressing that science and technology, AI especially, is a revolution that we cannot run away from. And therefore, we must have to adjust at our own pace, depending on our capacity and ability, maybe by generation or an age. I also want to appreciate what she said, that we should endeavor to externalize the values that we have in order to influence or to put AIT in our service. Because before now, I have been really concerned about science and technology destroying our values. Some of us appear helpless, but I think I've gained a lot from what she said. Whatever things that we think are good for society, we should try to project them and get AI at our service. I take that. I've also been worried about the impact on AI on the workforce, and I think she had made a very good clarification there. And it appears that there's even more room for engagement of labor if only we can understand how AI works. I also want to appreciate that in spite of her being under the weather, she has been very, very eloquent, very elaborate, that it appeals even to all strata of generation, like Ajia Amina said. So, like I said earlier, I'm not likely to ask questions, but I'm going to reflect on the copious notes I took from her presentation. And please grant me the opportunity to appreciate Hajia Amina and her staff for packaging a very wonderful event for us without being mandated, but I make bold to say I'm speaking on behalf of the chairman and the respected members of the board of trustees to appreciate you all. And I have so many takeaways. I'll sit down, reflect, and so much to share also with other people who may not have been privileged to listen to this wonderful presentation or to even know what AI is all about. So these are my comments. I'm hardly likely to ask any questions, but I'm going to gain from the more questions that some of you will ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We're most grateful for these, your comments and your words of advice. I've noticed that some of my directors have also joined. So I'd like to give them an opportunity to come on, ask their own questions or give their own contributions before we take any questions from the audience. Director of Finance and Administration, Dr. Haruna Jumare. If you are ready with your comments and observations, please. Thank you very much.
Hello, ma.
Hello, I just noticed,
I think
he seems
I
to
realize that he's off. He's off.
he's up.
Maybe
Okay.
you can call his attention to come. Let me call his attention so that he can
Okay, fine.
come back
While you're
online again.
doing that, Mr. Moses, our Deputy Director of Finance, can you please give us your own comments? Oh, he seems to have suddenly also gone off. Mr.
Okay, no,
Moses,
I'm
can you
here.
hear me? Okay,
Yes, I can hear
you're
you.
welcome. Okay,
Thank you,
please.
ma. Yes,
Okay.
I really want to appreciate our guest mentor, Jia Sani, for the enlightenment and then breaking down the issue of AI. Actually, AI has come to stay, and all that is required of us is our adaptability. And I really appreciate her for bringing out to demystify the misconception about the use of AI, that it has the capacity to replace the human, ability in workplace. But she has demystified that no, our adaptability is one of the key things that we need to really, it only enhances our performance and productivity. I appreciate you for that. And I also appreciate a member of the board of trustees who took time to stay with us from the beginning to the end of the presentation also, and the director of programs and the director of finance and administration as well, and the entire staff. I think what we really need to do, the younger generation, is to actually wake up to the challenges and then deploy the tools of AI that are available to enhance our productivity in our workplace. Once again, I thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses. I noticed there's a hand up. I guess somebody wants to ask a question, but it's just.
Hello? Our dear
Oh, hello.
moderator.
Yes. Okay. Welcome, Mr. Dr. Haruna. Sorry, we were calling you and you went off. You are welcome, sir.
Somebody interrupted me by calling me uninvited calls. So now I have to resort to collect my wife's phone to talk now.
You are welcome, sir.
Luckily enough, I'm also having Amina here with me.
Thank you. You can make your contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello? We can hear you, Dr. Haruna. Hello? Hello, Dr. Haruna, we can hear you. Hello? Hello, Dr. Haruna, can you hear us? Hello, can you hear us? He seems to have gone off again. Dr. Haruna, I can see you're still online, but we can't hear you. Okay, the person who has got his hand up, can you please introduce yourself? Well, and you ask your question. I assume you have a question. Can you please introduce yourself? Phantom X. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I can hear you clearly. My name is Ahmed Mohammed Baba, and I want to first of all appreciate the foundation for this wonderful, organization of this webinar for us to learn, share more knowledge on AI, which is actually the trend right now, and as earlier said, it has actually come to stay. So, and again, I want to once again appreciate our guest mentor, whom I call encyclopedia par excellence of AI, and she's actually an intellectual personality that I know. Thank you very much for that wonderful delivery of your intellectual capacity on AI. It's actually a good knowledge that you shared for us to know more about AI. As much as you try to connect the old generation cycle of the intelligence to the new generation, and I hope it will be a wonderful tool for us to work with to gain more, knowledge in what we do today. Thank you very much for that. My question is, how can we manage the challenges posed by AI, especially in tackling office politics? Office politics in the sense that I know this, I'm supposed to innovate this, I'm supposed to be a creative of this particular issue, but I need to hide my knowledge because I don't want to be bombarded with more work. How can we manage such connection of trying to show that you know it and the organization wants you to know it, want you to build, want you to actually be a creative person in this and for you to be able to move the organization forward. But for the fear of bombardment of too much workload, how can we manage this connection? Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Mala Ahmed, for this your question. I would like to ask the presenter if she would like to take the question, barring any other questions, because I'm sure she has a few tips for you on the question you have just asked. So, Haja Hadiza, if you'd like to take that question before we have any other questions coming in, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, Ahmed, for the very insightful question. Yes, office politics and office drama exist in every establishment. And yes, those who are perpetually found useful to be assigned responsibilities and functions are those who already are skilled. Let's understand that as a fundamental reality. Now, if you own your own company and you give a task to an officer and he takes 3 days and has not, at the end of the day, what he has submitted to you does not even meet a quarter of your expectation, would you give the same staff another assignment tomorrow? You first of all want to go and train that staff to measure up to your expectation before you begin to give him assignments. Now, for somebody like me, I actually worked for 39 years. I started work, very, very early, while still in school, while still in university. So for me, it was always about perfecting the art. Every single thing that you assign to me has to be perfect or near perfect. I'm a Virgo, so you can understand, it comes with the territory. But the reality of it is, it goes beyond that. It's about who you are. And that's what I said, each and every one of us as individuals, as members of humanity, the first step is for us to study ourselves, understand ourselves, understand our humanity, understand our role within that humanity. And then set for ourselves priorities and targets that we want to achieve in life. Find what makes us happy and begin to pursue that goal of achieving those things that we want to achieve. So in all office establishments, and I went through this several times. There was a time in my organization, let me go back memory lane. Then we were in Lagos, and our organization was creating new productions. They were creating new programs for airing on Voice of Nigeria's broadcast. And they told all of us to come up with 2-3 programs. I came up with 5. They selected 3 and gave me all 3 to start producing alone. Each of those programs, one was a 15-minute, one was a 10-minute, 2 were 15-minute programs, one was a 10-minute program. So 25 minutes of packages for just the new programs. I was still head of editorial. I was still producer of Africa Hour. I was still producer of Weekly Analysis, all at the same time. And for a lot of people, that was like, Shabina, you want to say you sabi. But for me, it was a learning ground. How can I multitask? How do I get the job done faster than I've been doing it, so that I can have free time to take care of myself, to relax with my family and all that. And this was what inspired me to learn more about AI and about all these technological advancements. The reality is, you don't escape because you don't want to be seen to be over-sabi. You don't escape. If anything, you lose something from it. What you do is to perfect it, then rework your timing such that you can still achieve the extra burden of work in such a record time that you will not be bridging the time that you need to spend with your family. I think for all of us, that needs to become the way that we operate. Look, the human brain, till the day we die, we cannot use up to 5% of the brain. None of us can. The brain is such a humongous organ. You can never utilize 5% of it. So let's keep expanding. At least even if we don't get to the 5%, which will make us virtually like machines, let's make the best of the 1.5 or 2% that we are able to utilize or maximize till the day we die. Learning does not have a full stop or a bus stop. It is a continuous process till the day we drop. And Allah didn't ask us to read in the Quran without knowing the value of reading to our lives and our existence. So let's imbibe all of that. Take from Islamic religion, take from modern science, take from everywhere, put it together, see how you can sift it, how you can make it better, and then push it into society. I've left a department now that is virtually the only stay of my organization. I created that department. I ran it. I created the modus operandi. I put in place the strategies. I put in place the schedule of duties. I put in place the measurements. The risks I have already identified. I have requested all the items they will need for until 2050. So tell me, what else everybody is just rolling with what I already put in place. That means there was a long-term plan. So create for yourself a template of how you work, what you will be doing by yourself, what you will need your systems to do for you in your absence. If you can delegate or collaborate with others, do so. There's no harm in it. This competition idea that people have put in place just to be able to advance certain people above certain people, it's not working. Everybody has seen that it's not working. The mentality of capitalism has eroded and derailed the values of humanity. And we need to really rethink these things as workers, as members of society, as one common human group. These are the ways that we can walk around office problems. I know of some people who, yes, because they are so good, most organizations will push every new job to them, or every work that they want success in, they send it to them. I think the idea is to not see it as burdening work, but to see it as learning curves to be able to advance yourself in the future and to be able to hold your own. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. I've seen that Director of Finance has been able to come back on. I would like him to please give us his own comments and his own share his own part of what we're talking about here. I saw a hand up. I would like to ask the person to just be
very
patient
much.
while
Thank
our
you very
director
much.
comes.
Thank you very much, Director of Programs and Research of our Able Foundation. As a rider to what our guest mentor has said, I am of the belief that machine handle technical tasks only, while human skills become more valuable. We have to develop critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, communication, good leadership, and ethical reasoning. In doing that, we have to move from physical labor to digital literacy, data analysis, programming, AI literacy, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. We should take AI as a lifelong learning culture because one degree is no longer enough. Continuous professional development is essential. Online learning platforms are growing. Therefore, we have to be AI literate in all what we do. In conclusion to my comment, I want to say that I have found AI to be not a simple replacing jobs, it is redefining work for us. And we require diligent and digital competence, adaptability, lifelong learning, and strong human-centered skills. With this, I'm sure our institutions, government, and other organizations will be better for it in Nigeria. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I want to appreciate our guest mentor, our board member, board of trustees, and all other management staff, particularly the moderator, our able Director of Programs and Research, Hajia Amina Lare Abraman. We thank you for the opportunity and God bless.
Thank you very much, Dr. Haruna. We appreciate those your comments. Malan Zuberi, quickly, please. If it's a comment, if it's a question, can you quickly put in so that we can let the guest mentor round up? Time has fast been spent. We have learned a lot, and we wouldn't want to keep her much longer. Malan Zuberi, can you ask your question, or if it's a comment, can we have it quickly? Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Zubairu Usman Monko, and I'm a student. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for a very enlightening presentation. You explained the importance of AI in a clear and relatable way to us as a society. And my question here is that, please, Ma, what is your thoughts on how using AI affects the way students handle assignments and projects given to them, like in school? What do you think are the advantages and the disadvantages of using AI in doing assignments and projects in school?
Thank you very much. Haja Hadiza, I don't know if you can shed a bit of light onto his question.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. This is a very, very important question. And thank you, Zubairu, for raising it. As we speak, I'm well aware that the Federal Ministry of Education, in collaboration with all stakeholders in the education subsector, as well as in the judicial sector, and the anti-corruption and all the antisocial antisocial agencies are all working together to fast track a paradigm shift in how we utilize AI for institutions of learning, especially for students in secondary schools and in tertiary institutions. The reason being that we've discovered that a lot of the times people go online, they'll just go and copy and paste. For exams, school term works, assignments, and all that. You find so much plagiarism in the institutions of learning. So much plagiarism. When you now ask the students to explain an aspect of what he has put forward in his paper, he cannot, because he doesn't understand it. He didn't read it. There is nothing wrong with using AI to research. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. What becomes wrong is to present it as if you are the author of that intellectual property. All right? And that is what is criminal. And that's why judiciary and all the anti-social organizations are working with the education sector to come up with ways and means to reduce what this is doing to our students. It's even worse in secondary schools. We find students now who copy their answers to questions and all that into their wearable devices, their wristwatches and all that, and then take them into, most lecturers didn't realize that their wristwatches can actually copy and show them answers to this, or some are even linked to the internet such that they can use it to find answers while they're wearing these devices in the exam halls. And these are dishonest practices. And let's be honest, somebody who can go to the extent of doing that already tells you he's a dishonest person. Such people should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law to serve as deterrent to others in the future. We cannot continue to embrace and condone and say, oh, they are our children, they made a mistake. Please. Others who went to libraries, who went to do research, who studied, took notes, try to sit in groups to chat about possible questions and come up with possible answers that each one of them can give. By the time they go into the exam hall, they are prepared for that exam. They know what to write. They know how to write it. If you noticed, in my presentation, I started it by saying it's a presentation of an already existing research that was done. These researches were done between 2022 and 2024. I've also included in my presentation the resources, the places, the sources of my content, so that you see that these are researches done by groups, by research agencies, with the intention to advance our knowledge and our skill. And I took part in the webinars to present the findings. So it is based on this that I decided, okay, this is such a good topic to present to these facts to this group. And I put it together and I compressed more than 126 pages into about 33 pages. The rest of the pages you see there are mostly acknowledgements and additional resources that you can go to and go and find more knowledge to be able to advance. The reality of it is anybody who is in an institution of learning should understand the meaning of the word learning. It doesn't include copy and paste. When you copy and paste, and you can't even express, you don't know how to, you can't understand what you have copied or pasted, and you cannot express any significant understanding of the import of what is said or contained in what you've copied, then you didn't learn. It's as simple as that. haven't learned. And not being able to learn makes you deficient in whatever quality of graduating certification is given to you, because you will not be able to defend it in practice. This is the reality. So my appeal to all the students is, I'm sure that this new templates that the Ministry of Education is working on will probably be out before the next enrollment season commences, which is I think sometime in September, is it October? By the time that comes, honestly, sincerely, those who are copying and pasting, and there's even a bigger problem. Those parents who also pay people to go and sit exams for their children. And you expect these children to grow into our society and be responsible people? No, the grounding is wrong, it's faulty. They need to go to school. They need to learn it. If they fail, let them fail. They will learn it again. Those who are making products today, the people who devised flying machines, flying cars, flying bicycles, they didn't achieve it on first try, first success. They made several mistakes, but they kept at it until they perfected it. And that is the kind of mentality that we need to groom into our people. Thank you again, Zubairu. I wish you all the very best of luck in your studies. Let me appeal to you to appeal to your colleagues and fellow students to please put your heads down, learn. The world you are about to enter, the work world you are about to enter, is based on knowledge, is knowledge driven. If you don't learn now, with what knowledge will you enter that space? I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hajia Hadiza. On this note, I would like to ask the manager of programs, Sa'amadu Bello Memorial Foundation, Hajia Aisha, who had a lot of technical challenges trying to join the webinar, to give our vote of thanks on behalf of the foundation. I have given my own vote of thanks because I can't thank you enough for this wonderful, brilliant lecture you have just given us. Should I call it AI 101? Thank you so much, Hajia. And please, Aisha, can you please appreciate our guest mentor and tell us a few things about her, because we started without I formally introducing who she is, her wealth of experience, which she has shown us. Over to you, please, Aisha. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Good afternoon, everybody. I want to sincerely apologize for my inability to join from the beginning of the presentation. I had serious technical issues, like my director said. So my sincere apologies for that. Thank you, everybody in attendance, my directors, deputy director, assistant director, everybody in the house. Thank you so much, all the participants. And to our guest mentor, Hajia Sani, as she's popularly called, known. Hajia, thank you so much for that awesome presentation. You have really, I don't even know what to say. Everything has been said. You have really broken the myth on AI into a layman's perspective. To whoever hasn't heard about AI before, at least listening to you in the last 1 hour, means a lot, and he or she can understand what AI is and how we need to work on ourselves to adapt to the use of AI. Thank you so much, on behalf of the foundation and all my directors and board of directors. I thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. You have really done a lot. And I'm sure everybody has 1 or 2 things to take away from here, and we'll put everything into use. Thank you so much, ma'am. We appreciate you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Aisha, for that. And we once again appreciate.
Okay. And then you said I should. Sorry, ma.
Yes.
Okay. Our guest mentor, Hajia Hadiza Hussein Asani, FNSSIGFICAMIPING. She's a professional digital media consultant and an AI expert. And before her retirement from Voice of Nigeria in 2025 September, she created the digital component of Voice of Nigeria, which she monitored. She created it and nurtured it into reality. And she was there as a director. She is somebody that she has over 3 decades of experience within the media, digital media specifically, and her main interest is in propelling innovations such as digital audio production, as well as artificial intelligence and machine learning. There is so much more to say on Hajia's profile, which I may not be able to give all the details here, but Hajia is a professional when it comes to artificial intelligence. Thank you so much, Hajia.
Aisha, for that small bio. And on behalf of Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation, we look forward to more people joining us on this monthly mentorship program. It brings to the fore knowledge that people probably take for granted. Any small knowledge learned is one step further in enhancing one's development. Hajia Hadiza, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us this morning stroke afternoon. We appreciate you. We hope that we haven't eaten too much into your weekend. God bless you, bless your family. And we hope you will also join us on future mentorship programs so that you have become part of Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial family. Thank you so very much for coming and being with us. We appreciate everybody. Thank you for taking out time to actually be with us this morning. Thank you and God bless. On that note, we have come to the end of this webinar and we'll appreciate more people joining us in future. Thank you so very much to everybody. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Super DPR.
Thank you, sir. Hope your phone calls have
Thank you,
stopped
everyone.
coming.
Thank you, our super mentor. I thought I can kada koyan darasi. Na gode.
Me too.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
all. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you, sir. Thank you.
Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Yes.
We hope you enjoy Abuja.
Oh, very well. Very well.
Well done, sir. Thank you.
I get the mera wani sarki.
Thank you, sir. May God continue to grant you good health and long life, sir.
Amen. Amen. Thank
We are
you.
happy to have
Yes.
you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Our regards to the family. Thank you, sir.
Okay. There. Yeah. Yeah.